I remember when I was a kid and just always wondering, what is it like to be married? What is that gonna be like? Will that ever feel normal or right or anything like that? You know what I mean? Because you're so used to just being alone in your own, but the concept of having somebody else was just really strange to me. And I didn't know what that was gonna be like at all. And it was kind of scary. But now on the other end of that, the other side of that, now that I am married, it just feels like so little to worry about. But all that to say, I can remember what that felt like. And so on Instagram, I asked you guys out there if you had any questions about marriage, just in general, or about us and what it's like, or what we've gone through, or just to kind of alleviate that stress of this huge unknown. Yeah. But first, before we get to the questions, this video is sponsored by Helix, and they are amazing. They're amazing not only because they make amazing mattresses and other things too, but because they sponsor our channel and they make what we do possible, and I am eternally grateful for you guys. Thank you so much. We've had our Helix mattress for months now, to the point that we actually could have returned it if we wanted to, but we don't want to because it is so amazing. I was never really comfortable in any bed that we really had for the first 3 years of our marriage until we got the Helix.
Terrible beds.
Yeah, until we got the Helix mattress, and it revolutionized my life completely.
Especially since we put the Helix topper on.
Oh.
It's nice.
So soft. We've gotten so many messages from you guys who have bought Helix mattresses because you've seen it on our channel, and thank you so much. I'm so happy you guys are happy with it. Helix is really cool, and they're different from other companies because they have a sleep quiz that you can take that really helps you get to know exactly what mattress is right for you. Helix takes all the information you put in, and they curate the perfect mattress that fits your needs. It's especially helpful if you have a spouse and you guys are trying to decide on what kind of mattress you each want.
It kind of just points you in the right direction.
Yeah. We took their sleep quiz and got the Helix Sunset Luxe mattress, which was the perfect mattress for us. It's amazing. The best part is that if you're a little nervous about buying something you haven't slept on, actually in a store, there's nothing to worry about because Helix has a 100-night sleep trial where if you're not 100% in love with the mattress, you can ship it back, no questions. When you order, it ships to your house for free in this really cool compressed plastic that you just roll out onto your bed frame, and voila, it puffs up. It's really fun.
That's a thick mattress.
This is amazing. If you want a Helix mattress for you or your family or your spouse, go to helixsleep.com/Jordan Taylor, where you're gonna get up to $200 off your mattress and 2 free pillows, and the pillows are amazing as well. The link is down in the description, and let's not kid ourselves, it really helps us out when you guys check out Helix and get their mattresses. Immensely. By supporting our sponsor, you are 100% supporting us and what we do and allowing us to sit down and have these conversations. So thank you so much. Now, Sarah, let's get to the Instagram questions and we got a lot of them.
And I think they're still coming in.
And they're still coming in.
In real time.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to go first? You go first.
No, you go first.
All right.
You go first.
Well, you have a good question.
Yeah, but I don't want to open it with this question.
Okay. Is it true that you just know when you meet the one? I mean, for me, it wasn't like I just knew when we first met. I mean, we weren't even interested in each other when we first met.
I don't think they mean when you just love at first sight kind of thing. It's just but when you know.
Oh. Well, she says you just know when you meet the one. When you meet them, when we met. And we weren't even interested in each other at that point. Actually, as the story goes, apparently I completely ignored you, which I don't remember. But then I rectified it by proposing to Sarah at the exact spot that was just ingrained in Sarah's mind that I apparently just completely disregarded what she was saying and walked away.
Yeah.
Which does not sound like me, but I will accept that is most likely what happens. Sure.
But I would say that yes, it's true that you just know when it's the one, but it might not be right when you meet them. It could be later.
Right.
But
right.
That is true, I would say, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean,
you just know.
Yeah. Yes.
Is it difficult to have your first argument after getting married?
No. I mean, it
I think
wasn't.
it depends.
It was well. I mean, because we had been together for like a long time, and so we had already had arguments or like just disagreements. Especially because we were when we first were like together. Thinking back, we were very young, and so you're still like developing your own thoughts, and then there's this person that has grown up differently, and you guys are interacting like constantly. There's going to be arguments. There's going to be disagreements or just things you don't see eye to eye on that you don't even realize. So we had kind of had those. So
Yeah.
in marriage, it was just kind of, I don't know.
I feel like it can be difficult to have your like first argument when you're married, but we had kind of already covered those bases. So
I don't
I
even.
don't
I
even
don't
remember
even.
our first argument getting
I
when we were
yeah.
married. So, but I thought that was.
I think you probably want to get to a point where before you get married, the thought of like having an argument with the person isn't really weird. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Okay. Hey, so I've been married for a month now. How do you guys argue healthily?
Oh, that's a good follow-up question.
Yes, it is. Arguing healthily.
Um, I feel like maybe we don't always argue in a healthy way.
Right. I mean, I don't think anybody does.
Sometimes I think we fail at arguing, but I think we try. I think we do pretty good though. I think the biggest thing is to remember to stop and listen to the other person.
Yeah.
I think that's what helps us.
And to try not to make it like a personal attack on the person, because that's where it goes downhill really quick, So if you just try and keep it about like the topic and not about the person, and if the argument is about the person and what they're doing, then
don't say it in an argument.
Yeah, you're not
till
gonna
a
want to.
good time.
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah. And also, I think just stop and remember that you love that person.
Right.
And so don't say anything that you're going to regret saying.
Right.
And I think that's a good thing to remember. So even if you have to leave the room and remember, I love this person. So you should treat them
because oftentimes if you say something that's hurtful, the person is going to remember you saying the hurtful thing more than you're going to remember saying it, and so then it's going to be like, wait, you've been holding on to this thing that I said. I don't even remember that I said. I didn't even really mean it. And it's like, yeah, you hold on to that for months,
Yeah, so just argue nicely. Okay, I have two questions that I feel like go hand in hand, so I'm going to ask them both together. Okay. So the first one is, does being married change the way you see yourself? If so, how?
I mean, it adds like a new dynamic to yourself that now you're, with somebody 24/7 basically. But I don't know if it's like, oh, I like see myself in this whole new light. I don't know. I wonder if I wonder if I'll have that like paradigm shift when, if we ever have children. I feel like that at that moment was like, oh, I'm a father. Like that's different to me than, oh, I'm a husband, because we were together for so long. It's not like, oh, I have my child for, it's like when you have a child, it's like, oh wow, I have a child now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I was thinking of it differently.
What were you thinking?
Think yes. I think being married, because you're with someone that you didn't necessarily grow up with. It's like a different aspect than family. Mm-hmm. And so it's going to be like a fresh eye on you.
Right.
And your quirks, because a lot of times you share your quirks with your family, and so you don't even see those things about you.
Yeah.
Until you're living with someone else or in a relationship like that. And so I think definitely
that makes sense.
It's kind of puts up a mirror of who you are.
Right. Yeah, I see what you mean. I guess I was just thinking of it more as this, wow, I'm somebody different now.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's total difference, but I do think it does kind of reflect things that you maybe didn't see about yourself.
And that's not overnight. You discover that for years, and it's oh wow, why do I do that? That's kind of weird, right?
Yes, yeah. And so the question I think that goes with that, and maybe that answer made you realize why I thought these went together. But do you think marriage helps you grow in ways you wouldn't have if you were single? And I think that question for me kind of answered it, because like absolutely yes and yes, because you see things that about yourself that you maybe wouldn't have. You grow in areas that you wouldn't have.
Yeah, just having somebody else to kind of, I don't know, show you various things about yourself that you may not have seen before. Or, not even just the person showing it to you, just being with a new kind of person all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
That's the key. So they really know you.
Yeah, I mean, you can just, how you react to stuff, you can kind of see, oh, why do I do that? That's kind of weird, It's something that might not have been a big deal in your family, all of a sudden is a big deal to somebody else. I feel like that's been like the main point of growth for me, I would say.
Yeah, same.
Did your expectations in view of marriage change when you got married? Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I was a kid, I don't know, when you think of marriage, it just seems kind of like this grandiose, like this, and I don't want to like belittle marriage or anything, but when you get married, it's like, oh, okay, I'm married now. It's not like, oh my word, I'm married now. Like I'm so different. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's also different for us too, just because we were together for so long.
Yeah.
It just felt like a natural next step. It wasn't like this huge change for us. I mean, it was in a way,
right?
But then it really wasn't in a lot of ways.
And we got a question. I'll put it up on the screen because I can't remember off the top of my head where it is. But somebody asked about like what our views are on like Christians and people just getting married really young or very quickly. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if we had done that, then yeah, maybe. My view on a lot of stuff would be different like that, like kind of like, wow, I'm married would feel different. But as to like my views on like people getting married young, that's fine. I mean, you know what I mean? Just
I got a question about that too.
Oh,
like
okay.
Getting married young. I think that you just need to know, like, just think about it for a second. Like, don't like rush into things. I think there's a difference between having maybe like, I don't know, getting married fairly quickly or getting married young and rushing into it. I think those are two different things. So as long as you like are prepared, like if you've thought about what you're doing and you are gonna, I don't know, go into it together, then why not?
Right. Sometimes it does make me nervous though when it's like you've seen somebody who's just been with somebody for not very long, just met them, and then they get married. I mean, I'm human, all right. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, man, I guess we'll find out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've had a lot of friends that have done that, and it's turned out really great. So I don't know. That's probably just on me. I'm not sure.
How do you deal with other guys, girls hitting on or flirting with your partner?
We don't really see other people. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with it?
Are you saying that I don't get hit on as much as you do? That's actually true. But
I feel like you're always coming back from the store and you're like, somebody honked at me or something. And
no, I'm not.
Like maybe I'm living in the past.
That happened a lot when we were dating, but it hasn't really happened since we've been married, I guess. But
maybe because I'm always with you, like constantly.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's more. I think we just kind of laugh about it. Like it doesn't faze us.
Yeah.
Like if someone did like outright message you one time and like hit on you, and
this happened.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, that girl has guts. I mean, like I was like, wow, I wish I was gutsy.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Her.
Right.
So I think I don't know, like we don't really like get jealous.
No.
Sometimes I kind of wish you would get a little more jealous.
I feel like that's every girl's wish.
But then maybe that's not a
right?
good thing.
No, that's an exaggeration. But
we're very secure with like trusting each other. So honestly, I would say we just kind of laugh about it. Like if on the rare occasion that it does happen, we'll be like, oh, guess what happened?
Right.
And we just laugh about it with each other. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah. This is interesting, and I don't really know the answer to it, but we will talk it through. What habit did each of you have to give up when you started living together? What habit did each of you have to give up? I don't think that I had to give up any habits as much as it was like I started gaining a bunch of good habits. You know what I mean? I don't really remember giving up a habit. I just remember gaining a bunch of good habits.
The only one I can think of is, and this was like a moment where I really feel like knives and forks should be put down in the dishwasher so you don't get stabbed. Like, I stab myself with the forks.
Yeah, you do. You do that.
So I told him they needed to go down, and he did not like that at first. But that's just such a stupid,
I just thought they would get washed better if they were up. I mean, just instinctively, they're not like covered. Which it's probably true. I don't know.
I mean, it probably is true, but then we formed a habit that we both like, where we group the like silverware, like all the small spoons and all the big spoons going to each like have their own little well that we put them in.
Yeah. So you just pull it out and put it in the drawer, and that's it.
Yeah.
Look, there's the habit. We came up with it.
My girlfriend has a chronic illness. Thoughts on long-term problems that you might have in a relationship. So this is something we dealt with.
Yeah,
because when we were dating, I had a chronic illness, and we still dated. So
yeah, this might be how naive I was or am. I didn't even think about it. I didn't think about what is the word I'm looking for? What are the repercussions, or what are going to be the consequences of me and Sarah being together later on if she keeps having this illness when we get married or anything like that. I'm not kidding. I never thought of that one time until I think somebody asked this question before or something about when we were doing something, and then I thought about it. I was like, oh, why? How did I not think about that one time? Because that can be pretty expensive, right? I mean, I feel like that's a pretty honest question that I could have asked myself.
I was legitimately worried about it because I was still on my parents' insurance at the time, so I knew when we got married, we'd have to have our own insurance.
Right, and that would have been difficult.
And so I was worried, like, what if this is still a problem? Are we gonna be able to afford insurance? And so it is something I kind of thought about, and I did actually talk to him about it, in a way of I was like, hey, this is something you should know about. And yeah, you didn't really.
I always just, in my mind, I always think things are just going to work out.
Yeah.
If they're supposed to work out, things are just going to work out, and that's how it's going to be.
I think that the realistic way to look about it, coming from someone who is dealing with a chronic illness and who has known lots of other people dealing with chronic illnesses, is that you should take into account how this person is dealing with their chronic illness. And I was someone who was very proactive about my health.
Right.
And I was very determined to get well from this chronic illness. And so while we were dating, I was doing all of those things, and I was being very proactive about getting well. And it's really hard. It's really hard to do that. But if you're with someone who is always making their illness an excuse, that should be a red flag.
Yeah, that would have definitely been oh wait, this is kind of, I don't know, but because, that's got to be one of the main reasons why, because it was clear you were trying to do everything possible to get better now.
And even though I was dealing with a lot, I was still doing everything. I wasn't making my illness an excuse. I was still going to school, even though I was told that I would not be able to go to school. And so I was still making those steps to do have a normal life. And so I think that played a lot. I think if I had just kind of, like I said, made it an excuse on why I couldn't do things or couldn't get well, it would have been different.
If your attitude was different, it would have been a problem.
Affordable/free date ideas.
Well, recently me and Sarah have, this is going to sound so lame, but we have been doing puzzles. The other day we did a 1,000-piece puzzle in 2 days, 2.5 days, 3 days.
Something like that. Now we were on vacation.
But that's
what we did. We were not just
sitting
at home doing that. But that was what we did our whole little weekend vacation was.
The main thing, we would come back and we would do the puzzle.
Yeah.
The other thing that we have been doing is playing cards.
Yeah.
We've been playing rummy. Gin rummy, and I don't know why. I have this book that I got. All-time favorite card games.
Got all the card games.
That I got from McKay's. Really great bookstore. Used bookstore. But I found this, and so we have been learning a bunch of different card games.
And we've been doing that
That
like every
costs
night for
nothing.
like the whole week.
Yeah, it's been great. We
Playing
kind of keep score.
Gin, and
who
we even
wins.
played poker.
Yeah.
You know, we can't lose
I like
money
gin better.
to each other.
Yeah, we can't lose money to
so
each
it's
other.
fine.
Shared finances.
What is your favorite thing about being married?
I mean, I don't know how to answer that question, but like my favorite thing about being married to you is that we just kind of play off each other really well when it comes to just interests that I was interested in but was scared to like do, or just not super confident to do. You always kind of had that like knack of being able to just pick stuff up and do it. If it was something that seemed kind of impossible, like fixing something or making something, you just kind of did that. And so that kind of gave me the confidence to be like, oh, I want to make a table. I want to make this thing. I want to make a desk. I want to, and I was able to kind of like get into that because of you. And that's been like one of my new favorite hobbies. It's like just such a part of me. And it was, and looking back like 4 years ago, that wasn't like me at all.
Yeah, that's true. I
So-
forget that now that we're sitting at the table that you helped make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, you know, it's just, I think that's probably my favorite part about being married to you is just that we kind of help each other and aspects to help the other person.
Okay, my answer is a little more general, but my favorite thing about being married is honestly, this sounds so cliche, but you really appreciate it when you're married, is honestly just having a like life partner. Because like when you broke your ankle last year
Oh no!
and you
I
basically
forgot.
were like he couldn't walk and just like laid
Yeah.
on the couch for a couple weeks.
Well, more than that.
Yeah, it was it was a while, and I suddenly had the responsibility of doing all the things, and I was like, this is hard.
Yeah.
This is hard doing everything. And I think it made me just like appreciate having someone to like have like life help. Just like you have a partner to like get stuff done together.
Right. Imagine if you got hurt and I wasn't here, or if I got hurt and you weren't here.
Right.
It would be like, wow,
Yeah,
what
like,
am
what
I
do you
gonna
do?
do?
But I think even just like, oh wow, what I need to clean the house. Someone's coming over, you know, or something like that. Just like, Jordan, come help me. And that sounds like so trivial. Or like, I'm a big like, if I need to think through something, I need to talk through something, and so I always have some ears to listen to me.
Right.
And yeah, I think that's just it. Just always having kind of like a buddy, I guess.
Yeah, I know what you mean. All right, I think we should probably just answer one more, considering this video is like
more.
eternally long.
What's it gonna be?
People are always like, you just make the videos an hour long, and I'm like, I don't know if you actually want that. I think
No.
you were just being nice, but I don't know. Oh, this is kind of interesting. Did you find that you saw your spouse differently after being married? How so? Yes, I did, because I thought of it more as you. This sounds really bad, but there's always an option to just leave, you know, when you're not married. When you're married, that's not well, for us.
Shouldn't be an option.
Yeah, that's not an option, you know? So now when there's like an issue or something, it's like, okay, we really need to like figure this out or work this out. Or there was more of like a, not that I wasn't protective before, but now it was just different. It was like more of a protection or something. I don't know. There was definitely like some kind of shift in my brain after we got married.
Yeah, I feel like it was actually just a huge stress relief, if I'm being completely honest. Because it really is like before you're married, you are two separate people.
Yeah.
When you're married, it changes. Like you're like in it. So, and it also like changes, like it makes you, or made me feel more relaxed, because I was like, oh, well, before we were married, it was just that like you could always leave, you could always change your mind. I feel like there was always like, not necessarily like a huge thing, but like a slight pressure that you could change your mind. But
Right.
like when we're married, it's like, oh, okay, like we're in this, and so
It made
pressure's
everything
gone.
it made everything a little bit more real, I guess. Well, I hope that those questions were good. That we got a lot. I could have picked any number of questions, so I'm sorry if we didn't get to yours. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I don't know how long this is. I'm sorry. But definitely check out Helix. Get a Helix mattress, guys. You're going to love it. Okay, please. It really does help us out. We love you guys. Thank you so much for always being here. We'll see you next week. Bye.